Welcome to the Business of Being Black with Tammi Mack. I'm Tammi Mack. Hi, everyone. As a woman, I believe that women should have complete autonomy when it comes to making decisions that involve their bodies. Some people don't. This includes having the right to decide if and when they're ready to become mothers. But here is the question that people have been debating for many years. When does life really begin? Weeks ago, we had a great conversation about this hotbed issue. And because we couldn't get to everything that needed to be said, we decided to have a part two about pro-life versus pro-choice. So let's get to it. Please welcome pro-life advocate Marie Strotter. Hi, Marie.
Hi, Tammi. Thank you for having me back.
Live Action News correspondent Christina Bennett is here. Hi, Christina.
Hi, Tammi. Thank you for having me on the show.
OBGYN Dr. Juanita Mestry Dudley is here with us again. Hi, Juanita.
Hi, thanks for having me back, Tammi.
And the host of the Mentally Divine podcast, Brian Pirapakran, is here as well. Hi, Brian.
Hey, Tammi, how you doing? I'm happy to be back.
Glad to be back to continue this discussion that we once had. Got so heated, we needed more time. So I brought more time. I brought y'all another whole hour, okay? So let's just get straight to business and let's just hit it on the one. Abortion, should it be legalized or not, Marie?
I have a lot of mixed feelings about that. I personally believe that life begins at conception. I am against abortion. And so therefore, it's not a choice as far as I'm concerned, because it is another life. But Roe v. Wade is the law of the land. So by that token, it is legal, even though I don't personally think that that is a good choice.
Would you like to see it reversed?
I think it's a lot more complicated. I think it's a lot more complicated than people who are against it saying, I'm against it. I wish it had never been law, but now that it is law, we do have a process under the Constitution for making things, we have to amend things. So I think that there is a process that we would need to go through. And that goes for any law. So I think there are laws that I like. And if it were so easy to change it when there's a law that I don't like, the reverse can happen. So I think we have to go by what is established in order to change things.
Dr. Mestry Dudley.
Well, everyone knows that I am pro-choice because I do believe it's a woman's right to choose what to do with her body, regardless of what anyone else thinks. I still believe pro-choice does not mean that we are against life. We're just for women choosing what to do with their body and when to do it. And we also say that if you choose not to have an abortion, that is also your right. But everyone has the right to decide what to do with their body and to make these decisions, what's right for their family and themselves with their doctor.
Brian.
Absolutely. We should have abortions be legalized in this country. And I'm so glad that Roe v. Wade is still standing. It's so unfortunate that we have a lot of, pro-life conservative identifying people who want to overturn Roe v. Wade and strip the agency of women and childbearing persons all across the United States. I think the main point is this. We're talking about, when we talk about pro-life, pro-choice, we're talking about someone having the right to choose what's right and best for them versus people who want to take that liberty and that freedom from them. It's unjust, and I absolutely think that it should be legal. And I'm also saying this, I'm going to revert back to what I said in the first episode. I'm pro-choice universally. I am pro-women and childbearing people to choose whether or not they want to keep that baby. If they want to keep that baby, by all means, please do it. I love you for it. You like it, I love it. When it comes down to people who don't want to have that baby, they don't want to have it. They may not be emotionally, mentally, or financially prepared. Let's leave that decision to them.
Christina.
I believe that unborn children deserve legal protection. I'm only alive today and even able to have this discussion with you lovely folks because my mom walked out of an abortion appointment. But it was an African-American woman, a janitor who was mopping the hospital floor, who saw her crying and told her, God will give you the strength to have your baby. And she walked out of the abortion doctor's office later on that morning after he yelled at her and told her to stay. But it shouldn't have taken all of that. I should have had a legal right to live, to be born. I should have been protected. I was born in 1981. if I was born in 1971, just 10 years prior, I wouldn't have had to even go through that situation. My mom wouldn't have had to go through that situation. So I do not believe that it should be legal to terminate, to dismember, to end the lives of innocent human beings in the womb. That is an act that should not be legal.
What is reproductive justice and why is it important, Dr. Mestry Dudley?
Well, reproductive justice is that women should be protected in whatever choice that they make. So if she decides that she wants to have an abortion, that's really no one else's business but her and her doctor. It's her right to make that decision. Everyone has a reason for why they have an abortion. I'm so happy that your mom decided to have you, but that was her choice in that moment. Okay. And other women have to have that choice to make as well. There are many women who feel like they're pressured to have that child, as opposed to, having the option to have an abortion. So I do believe that women deserve that right to choose. And everyone has a different situation. Who knows what's going on in their house? And what people don't understand is that the mental health issue that goes along with it, sometimes it's not physical, it's mental. The mental issue that she has to go with, struggling with, should I keep this baby, should I not? That should be something she discussed with her doctor and her family, and whatever choice she decides should be hers. And that's why it should be legal as well.
Yeah, it's always interesting to me that when we talk about abortion, a lot of people think that there's this woman who's out partying and having sex with everybody, and then she goes and she has an abortion, and it's like, going to get a pap smear, and then she comes back and then she parties again, then she has another pregnancy, then she goes and gets an abortion and she comes back, when that's never really the picture, right, Brian?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's a complete misconception. It's a complete misrepresentation of what exactly abortions are. And again, we're talking about people making the decision for themselves, whether or not they want to keep a baby because of the fact of their own mental, emotional, and financial preparedness. If you're not mentally, emotionally, and financially prepared to bring a life into this world and give it the proper tender love and care, then why are we going to be irresponsible adults and try to do that, or try to force other people based on our own personal beliefs? Religious beliefs, political beliefs? It makes absolutely no sense. So again, it is a misrepresentation. To your question, Tammy, the question about reproductive justice, I'll tell you exactly what reproductive justice is. It's when women have the absolute autonomy to make the decision for themselves, but also having the proper tools and information to do it. I think last time we talked about informational packets that were given and informed consent laws. 23 out of 29 states in the United States were actually looked into by the Informed Consent Project, and actually really looked at these laws. A lot of these states have created informational packets to give women that are state created, meaning politicians created it, lawmakers created it, without the input of researchers, right? That's absolutely not reproductively just when we're talking about giving women the absolutely necessary truth for them to make a decision. It's not reproductive justice when you're trying to dissuade people from making a decision because of your personal beliefs. So, I mean, that's what I think about reproductive justice.
Sorry.
I'm
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, doctor.
Now, just to piggyback on that, they make it very difficult for women to even make that choice. And it's a very stressful choice now due to the fact that so many women are starting their careers. And it's a very male-driven world where even in my field as an OBGYN, where I'm in the business of delivering babies and making babies, and we should be happy, we're so stressed about how it impacts our position at the hospital or in our practice, especially in private practice, where, you might want to be partner, but now you're pregnant and you're out, and then you're taking time away from the other people in the practice. It becomes very stressful, and it's a decision like, should I do this now or should I do it later? I'm going to make partnership now, or should I hold off? And this is how it is in even the business world and everything for women now who are trying to start their careers. And this is the mental issue that's going on with us.
Right. Marie?
Well, when you talk about reproductive justice, it sounds like one of those euphemisms that we talked about before, because in a just world, everyone would have a say. It is the woman. However, the man has also created a child, and the life that is within the mother is a separate body. If you leave that egg alone, You can't make something from nothing. There is an egg, there is sperm, they come together, they make, the embryo, the zygote, whatever. It is a baby. It is a life. If you leave it alone as a living egg, living sperm, what does it make? Something that is living. And so that living entity, as Christina pointed out, should have legal protection also. And so if you're talking about justice, where is the justice? Our Constitution says we have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Christina?
Well, honestly, it's not a word that I use just because it's used so interchangeably with abortion. So many times when I hear the word reproductive justice, I know it doesn't only stand for abortion, but so often it's used as a code word instead of abortion. So it's not a word that I use. But I wanted to comment on what you said, Tammi, about the way that we view women. When my mother was planning to abort me, when she paid the money to abort me, my mother is an incredible woman. My mother has survived domestic abuse. My mother was a single mom. I mean, my mom is my hero. And it's possible, I know it's possible for me, so I hope it's possible for other people, to look at women, Black women, and to see their strength and to see their value and to have compassion and to understand they're scared, or perhaps they're being pressured, or perhaps they just feel like they have to make this decision because of their job or career. It's possible to have empathy for them while still saying the act of dismembering a child in the womb is an act of violence, and that is an act that is morally wrong. And it is also, I believe, physically, emotionally, spiritually harmful to a woman, as well as taking the life of a child, which do we have the right to do that as a society? And so it's possible to still have empathy for women and not think, oh, they're a bunch of promiscuous people. There's a million reasons why women choose to have abortion. I've worked with women. I worked for 4 years at a pregnancy center. I've worked with women who've chosen to leave and go have abortions, who've chosen to parent, who've chosen to have adoption. And I honestly don't look at them any different, whatever their choice is, but I still am firm in my belief that that choice is a harmful, destructive choice that ends a human life.
Let's make the choice to go to a commercial right now. We'll come right back on Business of Being Black with Tammi Mack.